My job is a hotel bed tester, and today I accidentally drank too much before work. The next morning, I woke up to find a handsome guy lying in my room claiming to be my boss. Subscribe now, the story begins. Here's what happened. Our company opened a new hotel, and as a hotel bed tester, it was my duty to personally experience the joy of freeloading. The manager, ever the party animal, treated me to some fake booze. After a few rounds, I was nearly out of commission. But I kept my mission in mind, stayed true to my calling, and staggered back to my room. Waking up with a hangover, I was in bed and he was on the floor. We stared at each other in utter awkwardness. He was quite handsome, with alluring features that still held a hint of youthfulness. His deep, lazy eyes were half open. The liquor was fake, but the man on the floor was real. Suppressing my shock, I stared at his fair, handsome features, paler than my own face, and blurted out, "Hello? Are you my colleague?" He strode over with long strides, eyes half closed, and gave a dismissive chuckle. "Don't you know who I am? Pervert!" Furious, I kicked him hard. Then, from beneath the bed, a weak, sluggish voice came in fits and starts. "I'm your boss." I suspected he was just bullshitting. How could I not know I had such a young, handsome boss? He stood up, glaring at me, a smirk slowly spreading across his lips. "Just a friendly reminder, my name is Alex." My head buzzed. Like I'd been struck by lightning. I remembered now. Yesterday, the manager had mentioned in passing that the new manager was here to experience life too, and his name was Alex. Was I so consumed by lust that I'd actually assaulted the new boss? First meeting and I'd already pulled off such a stunt? Let me explain. It's all a misunderstanding. I scrambled to my feet, trembling, but my legs gave way. I stumbled forward, a fierce woman tackling a man, crashing right into him. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ... I pushed myself up using his abs for support, scared out of my wits. "Last night we didn single quotes t ... He looked at me like I was crazy. "You wish." I breathed a sigh of relief, impressed with myself for staying composed even when drunk. That level of self-control, could just anyone pull that off? He paused slightly before finishing his sentence with obvious irritation. "You were drunk, stumbled into the wrong room, and kicked me off the bed." I was utterly dumbfounded. "Why didn't you lock the door? You're young and living away from home. How could you be so careless?" He sighed. "I was too tired last night. Didn't get around to locking it. Who knew you'd come in?" It felt like getting struck by lightning all over again. This was worse than the torture he'd endured. I strained to recall last night's events, but alcohol had numbed my brain, nothing came to mind. "You better reflect on this. I'm going to take a shower." He left that statement hanging as he yawned his way to the bathroom. His physique was too perfect, my eyes darted toward him as if beyond my control. Damn, those proportions. And I didn't even take advantage of him last night. What a waste. My phone buzzed. I fumbled around for ages before finding it. Picking it up, I saw it was that scumbag Chuck calling, demanding I move my stuff out immediately. The bastard cheated on me with my best friend, no less. Beware of fire, thieves, and best friends. We were roommates, and I even shared a room with my bestie. Right under my nose, and I didn't see a thing. Alex emerged from the bathroom while Chuck was still droning on the phone. The sight of this gorgeous guy fresh out of the shower suddenly fired me up. Enough with the nonsense. Just pack my stuff. I'll bring my new boyfriend over to pick it up later. Chuck laughed sarcastically. "Fiona, you're just bragging. Don't waste money renting a guy just for the sake of appearances." I hung up gritting my teeth, glanced at Alex, and hesitated before asking, "You heard that earlier. How about coming with me?" "Sure." He offered no resistance. His quick agreement felt almost jarring. "You know what I need you to do, right?" He yawned lazily, his gaze unfocused. "Yeah, did he just call me a hired man?" I nodded blankly. A smirk touched his lips. "Exactly. Like I'm some kind of rental, that's insulting." Alex drove me in his Porsche. We were both silent at first. I still hadn't figured out last night. Even if I was drunk and pounced on him like a wildcat, how come he didn't resist at all when I kicked him under the bed? After staring at his perfect jawline countless times, I finally couldn't hold back. "Last night, you weren't drunk. Why didn't you wake me up?" He rubbed his bloodshot eyes and sighed. "Probably because seeing you sprawled on the bed, wailing and wringing your hands like you were dying, made me feel kinda sorry for you." Fine. The guy's handsome, but he's got a big mouth. Turns out I judged him right. Alex isn't just a gossip, he's got a nosy, prying heart. He insisted I explain why Chuck and I broke up. I didn't want to talk about it, but he claimed it was knowing your enemy. So I had to spill. I gritted my teeth and ranted about that cheating couple all the way to our shared apartment door. By the time we got there, my fists were clenched tight. My stuff was just sitting there, abandoned at the doorstep. That deadbeat didn't even want me inside. Furious, I pounded on the door until it shook. After a long pause, a face finally appeared through the crack. Chuck glanced at Alex, his tone tinged with sourness. "Oh, you actually brought someone. I left your stuff at the door. Check if anything's missing." Just as I was about to move, Alex suddenly grabbed my arm and shook his head. "Don't touch anything that scumbag touched." Besides ... double quotes, he waved his Porsche keys. "My car's small, can't fit much. Why don't I give you an address? You can mail it over." Chuck snorted in disgust, his lips curling in contempt. "What a show! Like I'd buy that bullshit." Alex's lips curved into a smirk. "Don't believe us? How about a live demonstration?" With that, Alex turned his face and leaned in for a kiss. Of course, Alex didn't actually touch his lips. It was just a staged moment. But from Chuck's angle, it looked like a passionate kiss. His handsome face was inches away, every pore visible. At that close distance, a wave of youthful energy washed over me. Even though it was just a staged kiss, being so near made my face flush bright red. When he pulled away, Chuck's expression had turned utterly grim. "Believe me now?" Just then, the trashy girl emerged, catching Alex in the act of wrapping his arm around me, passionately kissing. She curled her lip. "Who are you two putting on a show for?" Alex shot back. "And who are you pretending to be pure for?" Alex licked his lips as if savoring the moment, then tossed Chuck a business card with supreme arrogance. "This is my home address. Send her stuff there. Cash on delivery." Chuck scanned the card, visibly stunned. Alex wrapped his arm around me with pride, still not letting up. "From now on, we walk our red carpet while you cross your crosswalk. That's final." With that, he turned and walked away, still holding me close. Once we were out of the residential complex and safely beyond the couple's sight, I quickly pulled his arm off me. I didn't have time to argue with him. I immediately called my best friend, begging for a place to stay. True to form, she flat out refused. "Sorry, honey, my boyfriend's here these days." "It's not convenient. Hang in there for 2 days, and I'll definitely take you in later." "Fine. Single people really aren't treated like human beings." As I stood there feeling gloomy, Alex whacked me with his Porsche keys. "Come on. Get in the car." "Where to?" He curved his lips into a smirk. "You'll see when we get there." I ended up at his place, dazed. Standing at his door, I hesitated, too nervous to enter. He was young and full of himself. A hothead who couldn't control himself. What if sparks flew? "Come in." He turned to see me standing there like a fool, his handsome brows knitting into a tight knot. "Why am I at your place? You said you had nowhere to go. You were so brave last night, but now you're such a coward?" He successfully ignited my fighting spirit. I surveyed his place like an inspector, circling the room with my back turned. Not a single trace of femininity in sight. This guy is so handsome yet single? That shouldn't be possible. "Can I borrow one of your shirts?" The one I was wearing reeked of alcohol, giving me a headache. He turned and walked into the bedroom, grabbing a t-shirt and shorts to toss at me. "Wear this." "I'm going to take a shower first." At the same time, he pulled off his t-shirt, revealing a perfectly sculpted 8-pack. This guy was definitely doing it on purpose. I couldn't help but swallow hard. My eyes darted around frantically, staring for several seconds before I cleared my throat. "Mind your manners. There's a lady present." Alex froze for a second, then sighed. "Oh, I'm still not used to having someone else in the house." He went to shower, and I quickly updated my girlfriends in the group chat. The bunch of scheming advisors immediately started offering advice. "You're already at his place. Wouldn't it be weird if nothing happened? After your shower, pretend to slip and sprain your ankle. Make him carry you out. Never mind. What if he can't lift you? That'd be so awkward for you." "Seriously? Is this what people say?" I just stepped out of the bedroom wearing Alex's t-shirt, baggy boxers, and his slippers when I heard the door lock turn. A stylish, adorable girl stood at the doorway, staring at me with a complicated expression. The atmosphere instantly turned awkward. My head buzzed. I didn't even need to ask. Her murderous glare told me exactly who she was. Her eyes scanned me up and down like radar, her expression darkening by the second. Alex's clothes on my body. The sound of running water in the bathroom, with all this damning evidence. No explanation seemed possible. "Who are you?" she demanded coldly. I twitched my lips, about to explain, when the bathroom door suddenly swung open. "What are you doing here?" Alex emerged, towel drying his hair, his tone less than pleasant upon seeing her. The moment Alex appeared, the girl's demeanor shifted instantly. She approached him with a pout. "Why didn't you reply to my messages?" "Didn't feel like it." Alex scowled, his tone thick with impatience. Unfazed by his attitude, the girl pointed at me, her voice sour as pickled plums. "Who is she? What's she doing in your place?" He frowned. "None of your business." That icy attitude was so cold even I couldn't stomach it. Her eyes instantly reddened. She bit her lip and fired off a killer question. "Do you like her?" I waited eagerly for him to clear my name, but instead, he suddenly grinned at me, stretching lazily. "You saw it all." "Why ask?" My heart skipped a beat. That answer was guaranteed to fuel her misunderstanding. "Aren't you leaving?" His voice grew colder. He was something else. The girl was crying, and he showed zero compassion. "I'm calling your mom." "Go ahead. Wait, Rebecca, are you done yet?" His face turned stern, like he was ready to face the heat. Watching the girl run out crying, I couldn't help but ask, "Aren't you going after her?" He shook his head. "No. If she wants to go, let her go." "Fine. Forgot I said anything." He yawned, rubbing his eyes. "I'm going back to my room to sleep." "You should rest too." I remembered I still hadn't written last night's review. Shaking my head, I said, "You sleep. I'll finish the review first." "The PR team is in a hurry." He smirked. "Who's in charge of PR?" "I'll tell them to wait till tomorrow." "Long live the boss." He narrowed his eyes at me. "Suddenly remember I'm your boss now." Recalling last night, my hair stood on end. "As long as you don't spill the beans about last night, anything goes." He paused. "Not interested in coworkers, you know." "I meant I could compensate you by doing chores, cooking, stuff like that. Your place looks pretty messy." I sighed, correcting his misconception. "Then lunch is on you." Couldn't he at least be polite? Alex trusts me way too much. My cooking skills are worse than 99% of people's. I fumbled around, turning the kitchen into a crime scene. Alex yawned and came out, startled. "Did we just have a burglar?" "What's with all the fight marks everywhere?" I bravely admitted. "That was me." Alex sighed. "So what are we eating?" "Canned tomato noodles." Alex took 2 bites, his eyebrows furrowing into several arches. "Not bad." He set down his chopsticks and gulped down several mouthfuls of cold water. I picked up my own chopsticks and tried a bite. It was salty as hell. All right, seasoning really is a matter of luck. My mood remained unaffected. Not knowing how to cook wasn't a big deal. We could always order takeout. How about ... I order takeout. Forget it. I'll make something. He sighed and strode toward the kitchen with his long legs. "You know how to cook?" I was shocked. With his delicate fair skin, he didn't look like someone who cooked. "Occasionally." He rolled up his sleeves, revealing muscular arms. I wanted to contribute too. "Then what can I do to help?" "Just help eat it." Well, I could really be a big help then. Just as I turned away, he called out, "Hey, there is one thing you could actually help with." He looked at me with a smile, his lips curving upward. "Help me tie this apron." "Dude, don't you have hands?" He must have read my mind. His expression was innocent, almost sincere. "Both my hands are covered in flour now, and I still need to wash them." Too much hassle. I stared at his little face for a long moment, seeing no trace of acting. "Fine, I'll tie it. Nothing should delay eating." I held the apron, wrapping my arms around his waist. My hand accidentally brushed against his waist. I nearly burst into tears. This guy's waist was slimmer than mine, and his waistline was surprisingly lean, rock hard, radiating pure testosterone. He turned his head, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Lady, why are you blushing?" I'd felt a bit guilty about making him cook. Now, even that last shred of guilt vanished. Fearing he'd launch into more flirtatious banter, I hurried out to distance myself. But moments later, he called after me. "My phone's ringing in the bedroom. Could you grab it for me?" Reluctantly, I entered his bedroom. The caller ID made my scalp tingle. I scurried back with the phone. "Your call? My mom?" He frowned, then flashed a teasing grin. "You answer it." "Like I would. Trying to get myself killed? I shoved the phone back at him. He tilted his lips up in a mischievous smile. You weren't this scared when you kicked me out of bed last night. I rolled my eyes at him. So annoying. I deliberately dawdled on my way out, just to see if it had anything to do with me. But the moment Alex opened his mouth, I was stunned. Yeah, that's right. I brought someone home. I was nervous as hell. He'd gotten into a fight with his girlfriend. Please don't drag me into this. I couldn't hear what was said on the phone, but he kept talking. Who I'm with has nothing to do with her. It's none of her business. This is my affair. You don't need to worry about it. Then he hung up. By evening, I realized a serious problem. His place only had one bedroom. How were the two of us supposed to stay there? I threw the question at him. Alex scratched his head, a charming curve playing on his lips, his obsidian eyes glinting with mischief. Same as always, he said casually. My head was filled with question marks. There's only one bed in my place. I don't mind you sleeping in it. Don't even think about it. There's no way I'm sharing a bed with you. Alex glanced up at me, his eyes deepening with amusement. What are you thinking? The old rule is I sleep on the floor, you sleep on the bed. I felt a wave of embarrassment wash over me. Suddenly, Alex shifted closer, his face so strikingly similar to Hugh Grant's, drawing nearer until it was almost touching my nose. My heartbeat quickened, my cheeks flushed bright red, even my ears burning. Alex leaned in, his gaze as mischievous as his smile. Well, lady, so you had this on your mind. Why didn't you say so sooner? I froze. His tone was too tempting, yet I was furious. I waved my hand defiantly. Kneel and take your leave. No need for you to attend tonight. The next morning, I scrambled out of bed, washed up, and was about to leave when someone grabbed me by the collar. I turned to find myself staring into a pair of obsidian eyes. He grinned at me. Where are you off to? Where else? Work, of course. He ruffled his messy hair. Wait for me. 10 minutes later, Alex stood before me in a suit and tie, looking every bit the professional. Let's go. I'm heading to work too. What job are you going to? I thought he wasn't starting until the day after tomorrow. He stretched lazily. I've decided. I want to get to know the company better, go out and mingle with the masses. I certainly didn't want him as my boss. I rolled my eyes dramatically. Can't you just stay home? But he took offense. Don't discourage me. No sooner had he spoken than he tossed me a set of car keys. You drive. Then what are you doing? Riding along. I need to strategize my future plans in the car. Me. Alex's looks caused quite a stir in the company. All the gossip groups were buzzing about him. Even when I went out to get coffee, I'd spot a few colleagues discussing the latest drama. Did you hear? The new boss Alex brought a woman home and got caught red-handed by his girlfriend, who showed up unexpectedly. My whole body tensed, and my ears perked up instantly. Is that true? Absolutely. His girlfriend's family has business ties with our company, heard it straight from her coworkers. Rumor has it she was wearing Alex's clothes while he was showering ... double quotes. My scalp prickled. Terrified of digging my own grave with gossip, I scrambled back to my desk. Back at my desk, I stared blankly at the computer screen, my mind a complete blank. What are you doing? A lazy voice sounded from behind me. I jumped, turning to meet a pair of dark, piercing eyes. Working, he scoffed. Bullshit. You've been staring at that spreadsheet forever. Is this how you work? I pressed my lips together, refusing to answer. He sighed, reaching out to touch my forehead, his tone unusually gentle. Feeling unwell? I lied. No, just thinking about how to write the proposal. Then come have lunch with me. I'm not hungry. You go ahead. With so many people at the company eyeing him, I didn't want to become the target of their gossip. Alex frowned, scanning me up and down. You're not fat. Why diet? Fair enough. He was being unusually objective for once. I really can't go. I haven't finished my work. Alex snorted coldly, his eyes flashing with displeasure. If you don't want to eat with me, fine. I won't force you. With that, he stood up and strode away with long strides. Jessica from marketing spotted him heading this way and slowly made her way out too, staging a chance encounter. Alex hasn't eaten either. What a coincidence. Let's go together. Alex nodded, giving her some sort of tacit approval. She obediently fell in step beside him, walking out side by side. I froze in place. I knew the playboy was his true nature, yet seeing him with another girl stirred an inexplicable discomfort within me. Everyone else went off to eat, but I remained busy finishing the hotel trial sleep copy. That fake wine was dangerous. Besides Alex's handsome face, I remembered nothing else. As I racked my brain, a bento box suddenly landed on my desk. Immediately after, a familiar voice sounded from behind me. Eat first, you need energy to spin tailies. I turned and met a pair of piercing eyes. For a moment, I nearly drowned in them. Oh, you guys finished already? I shot back sourly. Alex frowned. What do you mean, you guys? You weren't... Before I could finish, I spotted Jessica strutting over in her flashy outfit. Oh, never mind. I'd been avoiding Alex at work, afraid of getting caught up in gossip that might ruin my reputation. But what I feared most happened that afternoon. He kept wandering around the office for no reason. Probably noticing I wasn't acknowledging him. He sauntered over, glanced down at my feet, and curved his lips. Fiona, why are you wearing slippers? Well, I usually keep a pair of slippers at the office. I wear flats on the way in, but when I'm writing, I like to slip into slippers to find inspiration. Bringing this up felt like he was just grasping at straws. Going to such lengths just to strike up a conversation with me. Reporting to the boss, you're the one who told me to treat the company like home. He raised an eyebrow, his cool voice sounding lazily. Well done. You really are the one who dared to kick your boss to the ground. I was stunned. This guy was definitely doing it on purpose. Now I was the center of attention in the entire office. He strolled back to his own office, leaving this girl to bear the pressure alone. A moment later, he messaged me again. Alex, are you busy right now? Not busy? Come to my office. I was too annoyed to respond, pretending not to see it. Alex, ignoring me? 5 minutes later, a transfer notification flashed across my screen, blinding me. You can never wake someone pretending to sleep, but a transfer can. No matter how distant we'd grown, one transfer brought us right back to where we started. I obediently tapped the message. Holy shit, and it's a hefty sum. Got it, boss. I'll be right over. I obediently walked into his office. He glanced up at me. Only then did I notice his long, curled eyelashes enough to make any girl jealous. Boss, you wanted me? He tilted his chin and handed me a bag of chips. Hold on, we've got a meeting coming up. Oh, fine, I'll wait. Being alone with him made me squirm like I was sitting on pins and needles. He looked so refined, but interacting with him felt like he'd escaped from some mental institution. Soon, representatives from all departments arrived. Jessica from marketing was acting weird today, picking on me right off the bat. What the hell is this hotel review? It's got zero appeal. No emotion whatsoever, total garbage. Me, what? Jessica shot me a look of utter contempt, but when she turned to Alex, those captivating doe eyes instantly shifted to a different emotion. After pondering it for a moment, it dawned on me. Jessica must have a crush on Alex. Probably because of that comment he made in front of everyone this afternoon. Jessica developed hostility toward me. Jessica was popular and well-liked. After saying that, she started rallying the crowd. Everyone, what do you think of this review? Her smile was sweet, but to me, it looked venomous. She got along better with everyone than I did, and her position was higher than mine. After she spoke, some people immediately sided with her, criticizing my work. I was too furious to speak. Rank and file, my draft had to pass Jessica's approval. If she said no, it was final, no matter how confident I was in it. Ahem. Just then, the person who'd been silently staring down suddenly cleared his throat softly. His tone was quiet, but the office instantly fell silent as all eyes turned to him. Alex kept his head bowed, and only then did I notice his long, curled lashes casting deep shadows beneath his eyes, revealing no emotion. With just one cough, the noisy meeting room fell silent. In my memory, this guy had always been a bit of a joker. I never expected him to carry such authority. Alex picked up my manuscript, read it carefully, then flipped it over and placed it face down. I think this draft is quite well written. His tone was calm, yet his words carried weight. Everyone in the room froze for a moment. I hadn't expected him to take my side. Then he lifted his head, his gaze sweeping over each face in turn, the corners of his lips curving slightly. What do you all think? The room was filled with seasoned professionals, each a shrewd operator. Seeing he'd sided with me, they swiftly abandoned Jessica. The consensus on my draft shifted dramatically. Jessica gaped, biting her lip, still unwilling to concede. She actually asked Alex why. Alex frowned, his voice soft yet commanding. Do you need me to explain? Jessica flinched, glaring at me with reddened eyes before falling silent. Alex's long-fingered hand tapped the table rhythmically, neither loud nor soft, yet commanding respect. This piece avoids empty hype. I detest those paradise-like experiences or utopian retreats claims. Of course, if anyone has actually experienced such places, I won't argue. The purpose of writing reviews is to give customers a genuine sense of what it's like to stay here, not to pull the wool over their eyes. This piece starts from a guest's trial stay experience and highlights our hotel's unique features through the details. Any other objections? If I hadn't heard it myself, I wouldn't have believed this guy could say something so profound. He was practically my soulmate. With Alex backing me, no one dared voice dissent. Jessica could fume all she wanted. She had no choice but to swallow her pride and adopt my plan. The meeting adjourned and my long-awaited afternoon tea break arrived. Just as I was about to grab a bite, Alex suddenly called out, "Fiona, hold on a sec." Confusion spread across my face. The onlookers stared in shock. Alex keeping me behind alone gave the onlookers fresh gossip fodder. The last colleague to leave even thoughtfully closed the door behind them. "Thanks a lot, you bastard." With just the two of us left in the office, this guy finally showed his true colors, grinning and beckoning me over. "Come here, help me look at this." Confused, I walked over and craned my neck to see. Turns out he wanted me to pick out women's slippers for him. The screen was flooded with limited edition slippers. I thought about the 20 yuan pair I was wearing on my feet. All I could say was people's ideas of fun just don't align. For someone else? I couldn't help but think of that stylish, cute girl. Alex's lips curled up, dodging the question. "Hurry up and pick one for me." I pointed to a style I'd admired for ages. "This one." He glanced at his phone and nodded. "Nice taste." I pouted. "Nothing comes free." He waved it off with a smile. "Get to work. Remember to wait for me after your shift." Huh? Seeing my confusion, Alex raised an eyebrow. "I thought you were homeless." I ended up following him home, feeling utterly defeated. My best friend was moving in with her boyfriend, so it would be 2 more days before she could transfer her rental apartment to me. No choice, I'd have to endure 2 more days. Probably because I'd forgotten to close the window, I woke up in the middle of the night with a throat so sore it felt like it was on fire, coughing until it felt like my lungs were tearing apart. Snot and tears streamed down my face. I wanted to ask if he had any cold medicine, but at 1 in the morning, I felt too bad to disturb him. I tried to hold it in, but the coughing came in fits and starts, my throat dry as if on fire. Still, I woke him up. A voice suddenly broke the darkness. "Are you okay?" Then, the bedroom light flicked on. Alex looked at me with concern. "Got a cold?" "Yeah," I nodded weakly. As I spoke, I couldn't hold back a sneeze, splattering his Zegna shirt. "Oh no, I've ruined something I can't afford to replace. Stay still." His cool voice came from above me. Before I could react, he'd pulled out a tissue, gently wiping under my eyes, then my nose, then my mouth. "Look at you, all snotty and teary-eyed. Wait, did that sound affectionate? We don't have any medicine at home. I'll go buy some." Without waiting for my reply, he turned and walked away. But he returned shortly after, handing me a cup of water and a pack of tissues. "I poured you some hot water. Drink plenty of it. And if your nose runs, use soft tissues, they won't rub your nose raw." Alex soon returned, panting heavily. He must have rushed out in such a hurry that he was still gasping for breath, tiny beads of sweat glistening on the bridge of his high nose. In the dead of night, his hair sticking up, panting like a dog, he looked kinda funny. But my heart skipped a beat without warning. "Finish these pills, get some sleep, and you'll be fine tomorrow." He handed me a bottle cap filled with 5 or 6 different colored pills. I swallowed them one by one, as he promptly offered a cup of warm water. After swallowing the pills, my gaze fell on his stained white t-shirt. Nervously, I steeled myself to ask, "How much is this? I'll pay you back." Alex looked down at the shirt, a teasing smile on his face. "You really want to pay for it?" I nodded, tears welling up. "Oh, this is this year's new model, a limited edition. I think it was around 5,000 yuan. I nearly burst into tears, gritting my teeth as I asked, "Can I pay in installments?" He nodded readily. "Sure. How many installments do you want?" "You decide." He pondered for a moment, his gaze so intense it felt like it could melt me. If I had to say, a lifetime. My heart skipped a beat, racing out of control. What did he mean by that? What did it mean? But I felt so miserable, my head spinning like a muddy mess. I couldn't spare the energy to ponder his words. Maybe the medicine was kicking in because soon I drifted off into a drowsy sleep. When I woke up, I felt much better. Gradually, I climbed out of bed. Alex had already prepared breakfast. Soup, noodles, fruit, and side dishes. I was stunned. Looking up at Alex, I asked, "Did you make all this?" He sat perfectly upright, but his tone was cocky and carefree, a complete contrast to last night. "I don't have that kind of skill, I ordered it." He paused. "Feeling any better with your cold?" "Much better." He grinned at me, raising an eyebrow. "Next time, make sure to button up your nightgown." Leaving the window open lets the draft in. I froze. Then, following his gaze, I looked down to see several buttons on my collar had come undone at some point. How embarrassing. I covered my chest, quickly turned to fasten the buttons, then walked over to sit at the dining table. Freshly recovered from illness should mean a hearty appetite, but I had no appetite at all. My mind was filled with his words from last night. My feelings toward him seemed less resistant than before. Alex suddenly gave me a sly smile. "Last night, ... The mention of last night made my heart pound like thunder. He waved his hand dismissively. "Never mind. Let me rephrase it. What kind of behavior from a guy makes you think he's got serious boyfriend potential?" I froze. He asked me that? I thought he was going to continue discussing last night's topic ... Feeling a bit disappointed, I gritted my teeth in a huff. "Clear your shopping cart." Just then, my phone buzzed. I opened it to see a message from my bestie. "Hey, Fiona. Great news, you can move in today. I've cleared out my stuff, and I left the key in the meter box for you." I froze, feeling a sudden emptiness inside. After hanging up, my mood plummeted inexplicably. I thought moving out of Alex's place should make me happy, but it didn't. I'd grown accustomed to having him in my life. After breakfast, Alex insisted on driving me over. True to form, my so-called bestie hadn't left me a single thing when she moved out. My stuff at Chuck's was nowhere in sight. I couldn't very well ask that jerk for it, so I might as well buy new. There was a big mall downstairs. When Alex heard I needed to buy things, he eagerly tagged along. This grown man was more enthusiastic about shopping than I was, grabbing whatever caught his eye without a second thought about the price. Could I really afford all this on my salary? By the time we got to the checkout line, I was on the verge of tears. Just as my turn finally came, he suddenly shoved me aside. I looked at him, confused. He chuckled softly. "I'll pay. Consider it me warming up your place for you." "No way! That's way too generous." I couldn't possibly accept that. I tried to grab the card, but he yanked me by the collar and pulled me aside. Alex's lips curved upward. "Just think of it as giving me a chance to show off my boyfriend skills." Alex left, and I stared at the mountain of stuff he'd bought, feeling a bit dazed. I couldn't quite figure out what he meant, but I knew being with him felt genuinely happy. After he left, something inside me felt hollow. And that emptiness grew more pronounced as time passed. Alone in the house, I suddenly felt restless. If Alex were here, he'd surely have endless stories to share. Knock, 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 ... double quotes, then someone started banging on my door. I froze. I just moved in and hadn't even updated my delivery address yet. Who could it be? I opened the door, completely bewildered. A pair of captivating, obsidian-like eyes suddenly met mine ... I hadn't expected Alex to be back already. Had only a few hours passed and this kid couldn't contain his longing for me. Youthful impatience, I suppose. He'd even prepared an excuse for this visit. "Ma'am, your jerk ex-boyfriend shipped your luggage to my place. I brought it over for you." Only then did I notice the suitcase behind him. With such a solid reason, he might as well come in. He darted inside, glanced at the instant noodles on the table, and frowned. "Why are you eating this?" I sighed. "I can't cook and I don't feel like ordering takeout." He grabbed the instant noodles and dumped them straight into the trash. Then he pulled me toward the door, saying as we walked, "Instant noodles aren't healthy. I'll take you out to eat." Alex took me to a nearby Thai restaurant and ordered a huge spread of dishes, all my favorites. I buried my head in eating. It was delicious but way too spicy. I was sweating buckets. Alex barely touched his food, just silently watching me devour mine. He handed me a bottle of water at just the right moment. "Thanks." After drinking, I suddenly realized something. This ... "Is this your water?" Alex smiled. "I just opened it for you." "I haven't touched it." I exhaled, feeling a strange little disappointment. I didn't seem to mind the idea of an indirect kiss with him after all. Just eating wasn't enough for me, so I ordered a few bottles of beer. I can't hold my liquor well. After 2 or 3 beers, my head started spinning. By the time we left, I was staggering. In the end, Alex had to support me just to keep me walking in a straight line. Stepping outside, the breeze instantly made the world spin. My legs buckled, but Alex reacted swiftly, catching me in his arms. Our noses touched, and I could even see the tight pores on his skin. My heartbeat instantly went haywire. His breath grew hotter, brushing my face, and I lost myself. Alex's eyes burned brighter, reflecting my flushed cheeks. He swallowed, lips parting slightly as he leaned in. My face burned fiercely, my heart pounding like thunder. Watching that handsome face draw nearer, I gently closed my eyes. I braced myself for his affection, but suddenly, nausea surged in my stomach. I couldn't hold it back. I vomited right onto him. The awkwardness hung thick in the air. Thankfully, I hadn't vomited on his face, but another Zegna shirt was ruined. Damn it, I just mortgaged the rest of my life. I was mortified. While I still had some clarity, I shoved him away and scrambled to my feet, scrambling to escape. I was utterly embarrassed. But little did I know, it was about to get even more awkward. After lunch today, the office erupted. Someone claimed to have seen Alex's girlfriend come to the company looking for him. The two were in his office, door locked. Just as I was puzzling over it, Alex's office door suddenly swung open. A petite, stylishly cute young woman burst into view. I froze. Rebecca ... What was she doing here? Her gaze landed on my face, and I felt a pang of guilt. I lowered my head to avoid her eyes, but noticed something familiar about the sandals she wore. After a few seconds of blankness, my mind buzzed. These were the very sandals Alex had helped him pick out. So he'd given them to her. My mood plummeted instantly. Yesterday he wanted to kiss me, and today I see another girl wearing sandals he chose. What exactly am I to him? Lost in thought, Rebecca was already strutting toward me with her nose in the air. She hadn't taken more than a few steps when Alex emerged too. Rebecca paused abruptly. Perhaps because Alex was there, she glanced at me hesitantly, words on the tip of her tongue. She said nothing, brushing past me. Alex frowned, clearly in a foul mood. My mind was in turmoil. Not wanting to see him, I turned and returned to my desk, pretending to be busy. He stood behind me for a long time, but perhaps because of the crowd and prying eyes, he said nothing. My heart felt heavy, and I couldn't focus on work all afternoon. Rebecca's sudden appearance made me realize that my feelings for Alex weren't just attraction. I had genuinely fallen for him. But he liked Rebecca. I was nothing. I came to terms with it. A low-quality relationship is no match for high-quality singledom, so I deliberately avoided Alex. He wasn't stupid. He must have sensed it long ago and started keeping his distance too. We both knew it without saying a word. This week, our company team-building event was at the lake. I didn't want to go, but I couldn't refuse the HR girls' enthusiastic invitation, so I dragged myself there. However, I heard some good news. Alex wasn't riding the bus with us, he drove himself. On the day of the retreat, we gathered at the company entrance. I overslept, didn't even have time to put on makeup, and rushed frantically to the meeting spot. I finally made it 10 minutes before departure. Panting and out of breath, I climbed onto the bus and immediately spotted Alex sitting alone in the front row. Glancing around, only the seat next to him was empty. He gave a slight smirk and patted the vacant spot beside him. Don't make yourself stand. Come sit down. Was it too late to get off the bus now? I steeled myself and sat down in the empty seat next to him. Instantly, I felt all sorts of complicated stares piercing through me from behind. Didn't have breakfast? I brought you some. Alex pulled out a paper bag from my favorite fast food chain. Honestly, I really wanted it, but my rational mind screamed no. I already had breakfast, thanks. I reluctantly refused the meal, but my stomach betrayed me with a loud growl. Alex's eyebrows furrowed, his deep eyes flashing with a mix of emotions. If you don't eat this, you won't get perfect attendance this month. With that, he shoved the breakfast into my arms. Hearing that was my worst fear. Tears welled up as I bowed my head and silently ate. Just then, he handed me a bottle of drink. Don't just eat, have some water. I was choking on my food. This bottle couldn't have come at a better time. If only his voice had been a bit quieter, it would have been perfect. He brought me food and water, and the whole way, everyone was staring at us. I brought snacks too. Want some? Alex, worried I'd be hungry again soon, pulled out a huge bag of treats. I was genuinely scared and waved him off quickly. I could face a burly mountain of a man, but I wasn't about to challenge the crowd's stares. Alex silently put the snacks away, looking a bit disappointed. He seemed like he wanted to say something but stopped himself. When we arrived at our destination, we went to the guest house to drop off our luggage. Of all the luck, Jessica and I were assigned to the same room. To top it off, the first team building activity was river rafting. Teams were assigned by room, so Jessica and I reluctantly boarded the same raft. Worried we might fight, a colleague anxiously asked me, "Should I switch with you?" Before I could answer, Jessica piped up with a smug tone, "No need to switch. I'm afraid this raft will rock. Only Fiona's weight can keep it steady." I wasn't about to let her get away with that. "Then you sit at the bow, facing away from everyone." Jessica froze. "What's that supposed to mean?" "There's a saying. A glimpse of your back could send 1,000 soldiers rushing forward. A look at your face could scare 1,000,000 troops running away." "You!" Just as Jessica was about to explode, her eyes shifted, and suddenly she broke into a radiant smile. I turned just as Alex approached. He'd overheard my remark and frowned. After a moment's hesitation, he spoke in a stern, cool tone. "Rafting has its dangers. Colleagues should look out for each other." I could tell he was taking a dig at me. He must have heard my earlier comment, which is why he emphasized it. Jessica's expression changed completely. "Don't worry, boss. We'll stick together and be supportive." I gave a slight nod, saying nothing. Jessica had joked about my weight, and I hadn't gotten angry. But when he spoke, my nose stung, and I felt inexplicably hurt. Seeing my reaction, he seemed a bit guilty. He opened his mouth to say something, but Jessica cut him off. "Boss, aren't you going rafting?" Alex shook his head. "I can't swim and I get seasick. You guys go ahead." After saying that, he gave me a meaningful look and turned to leave. It turned out Jessica was truly impossible to deal with. She didn't row hard, but she was all too eager to antagonize everyone with her water gun. She'd used waterproof makeup, so getting sprayed a few times kept her looking composed and elegant. But not me. With my hair a mess and no makeup on, getting sprayed felt like getting my face washed. Strands of hair plastered to my forehead. It was a sight to behold. That's when I realized the importance of gear. Everyone else brought water guns for team building, or at least a basin to splash people with. All I had in my bag was food. As the mood got rowdy, the pranks turned nasty. I saw two guys lift a girl, ready to toss her into the water. She turned pale with fear, shrieking at the top of her lungs. I couldn't stand by. I rushed over to rescue her, but Jessica started chanting, "Fiona wants to be thrown in the water. Don't let her off the hook." I nearly choked on my breath from anger. Before I could speak, I suddenly found myself airborne, hoisted by two sleazy guys who grabbed my head and feet. I screamed in terror. Even though my feminine features weren't obvious, they clearly didn't see me as a woman. They carried me straight toward the water's edge. I struggled frantically, but two more guys rushed over to pin my arms and legs. Amidst cheers, I was dumped into the water with a splash. My head buzzed and I was knocked senseless. I'm a complete non-swimmer. After flailing around for ages, I couldn't get up and ended up choking on several mouthfuls of water. Terrified, I thrashed about in the water. Suddenly, a frantic voice rang out beside my ear. "Fiona ... Immediately after, a pair of strong hands pulled me up. Alex's bloodshot eyes came into view. The water wasn't deep, but the impact had left me disoriented, my mind a blank. Alex's expression was terrifyingly grim, the tension so thick it silenced everyone around us. My face was a mess of snot and tears, but Alex didn't flinch. He wiped the water from my face with his hands. Seeing I was unharmed, he exhaled a sigh of relief, his voice thick with guilt. "I'm sorry I was late ... My mind still foggy, I saw genuine concern in his eyes. "I'll carry you back." Without a second thought for the stunned stares around us, he swept me up in a commanding CEO-style embrace. I was mortified, unable to meet the stares around us. I buried my face in his chest like an ostrich. His heartbeat was clear and strong. Just moments ago I'd been panicking, but now I felt an inexplicable sense of security. He carried me in silence, yet I felt more at ease than ever before. Alex held me as the crowd instinctively parted to make way. As we passed Jessica, he suddenly stopped. Startled, I didn't know what he intended and lifted my head in surprise. Jessica's face was grim, forcing a thin smile. "Alex ... Alex's pupils tightened sharply. He shot Jessica a cold glare, leaned close to her ear, and whispered something I couldn't catch. But Jessica's expression changed abruptly. Then he hoisted me into a horizontal carry and walked away without looking back. His stamina was incredible. He carried me for over 10 minutes without breaking a sweat. Back at the guest house, a low voice came from above. Did you bring a change of clothes? I shook my head. We were leaving tomorrow morning. Why bring extra clothes? Alex sighed and carried me into his room. Me? His soft chuckle echoed above me. Still reluctant to get down? Want me to carry you while you change? My face flushed and I scrambled off him. I was soaked through, my underwear was faintly visible against my skin. His t-shirt was drenched too. The outline of his six-pack muscles sharp against the fabric. His ears flushed slightly. He glanced down at me, then quickly looked away. He handed me a full set of clothes. Wear mine for now. Go take a shower quickly, don't catch a chill. In the shower, my thoughts swirled as chaotically as the spray from the showerhead. Even now, the powerful beat of his heart remained vivid in my mind. The sense of security he brought was undeniable. But he already had a girlfriend. Why treat me this way? I couldn't make sense of it. I came out fully dressed and got the shock of my life. He was shirtless, and the moment I appeared, my eyes darted involuntarily to his abs. My face flushed. Why aren't you wearing a shirt? He gave a wry smile. I only brought two. You got one wet, and you're wearing the other. All right, that excuse was flawless. He handed me another cup of ginger sugar water. Drink this while it's hot. You don't want to catch a cold. I took it, sipped, and immediately scrunched up my face, looking as put out as a cat. Bitter. He frowned, then turned and fetched the snacks I'd refused that morning. Eat these with it. That should work, right? His tone was slightly indulgent, his gaze tender as he watched me. I dared not meet his eyes, accepting it with my head bowed. Calorie recharge complete. Just rest here. I'll have HR separate your room from Jessica's. Seeing him turn to leave, I called out. Where are you going? He chuckled casually. Going out for a smoke. Though if you miss me too much, I don't have to smoke. Smoking shirtless? That's just flaunting your ABs. The morning incident left everyone feeling awkward, and the mood wasn't great after we returned. In the afternoon, the HR girl switched my room. Having such a big place to myself felt a bit overwhelming. No sooner had I moved my luggage in than someone knocked. I opened the door to find Alex. He wore a borrowed shirt, wrinkled and rumpled, yet surprisingly flattering on him. Trailing behind him were four others, looking utterly dejected. Holy shit! These were the same jerks who dumped me in the river. I took a deep breath. What's this about? Alex turned around. Aren't you going to apologize? The four of them were big and burly, but they trembled before Alex, not daring to breathe loudly. They lined up to apologize to me. They just had a twisted sense of humor and got carried away. Once they apologized, my anger dissipated. Worried they'd feel too awkward, I waved my hands hurriedly. It's fine, it's fine. I'm not a strong swimmer either. Haha. Seeing I wasn't angry, the four visibly relaxed, casting aggrieved glances at Alex. No, next time. Alex's tone was icy, his anger clearly unresolved. They nodded vigorously, clearly wanting to leave immediately. Still not leaving? Alex shot them an impatient glare. He seemed like a different person now. Cold, distant, and intimidating. I froze, a bit surprised. Yet with me, he was as gentle as a golden retriever. He caught my gaze, the corner of his mouth lifting in a faint smile. Why are you looking at me like that? Did I scare you just now? I shook my head. I didn't realize you could be so fierce. He paused, then sighed suddenly. I saved all my patience for you. That's why you think I'm mean to others. I froze. My heart inexplicably warmed, but thoughts of Rebecca dragged my mood back down. Alex sensed my gloom, assuming I was still hung up on the morning's incident. He ruffled my hair and said something that deeply moved us. Don't be down. Tonight I'll take you for roast lamb. By evening, the company bonfire party was in full swing, the atmosphere lively. After this morning's incident, I noticed everyone was friendlier toward me than usual, both acquaintances and strangers mingled freely. I spotted Jessica was missing. Just as I was about to ask around, the roast lamb arrived. Instantly, my brain's first command was, eat. Being a foodie means no worries. And just like that, I forgot all about her. Stuffed to the gills, everyone else gathered around the bonfire singing and dancing. I'm not one for crowds, and besides, those girls could sing like angels. I didn't want to embarrass myself up there. While I still had my wits about me, I slipped away quietly, strolling alone along the riverbank to prepare for the rumored midnight snack. I was a bit tipsy, staggering slightly, but still lucid. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out from behind me. What are you doing all alone by the river? I froze, turning around to find Alex's mischievous grin filling my vision. His thick eyebrows curved like a crescent moon in the night sky, framing deep, piercing eyes that threatened to swallow me whole with a single glance. His stare made my heart race. Oh, well, I ate too much. Just walking it off. It felt a bit embarrassing to admit. He chuckled, hands behind his back as he approached. The darkness swallowed us, just the two of us, and my heart began to race. As he drew near, he suddenly pulled a flower crown from behind his back and snapped it onto my head. I was completely taken aback. The corners of his lips lifted in a satisfied smile. It looks pretty on you. Though I'd had some drinks, I was still fairly lucid. I instinctively took 2 steps back. Alex's smile froze on his face. His voice was hoarse. You don't like it? I took a deep breath and mustered all my courage. You have Rebecca now. This is inappropriate. His brow furrowed. Who told you that nonsense? I saw it with my own eyes. Rebecca came to the office looking for you, wearing the shoes you gave her. Alex looked genuinely confused. I have no idea about giving her shoes. Don't play dumb. Those slippers you asked me to pick out for you? She wore them that day. Alex seemed to remember something. A smile touched his lips as he reached out to pull me toward him. Come with me somewhere. Where? To my room. Alex feared I might misunderstand, so after giving me a lengthy pep talk, I finally stepped into his room. He opened his suitcase and pulled out an exquisitely wrapped box. Open it. Confused, I took it and unwrapped it. It was the pair of shoes I picked out for him. Brand new. I looked up and met a pair of gentle eyes. I saw your flip-flops had a broken heel that day, so I wanted to get you a new pair. I was planning to give them to you next month for your birthday. Turns out Rebecca had the same shoes. These shoes were this year's must-have, a social media sensation. It was no surprise they overlapped. He chuckled softly. That day she came to the office. She was actually saying goodbye. She's going abroad to study. So that was it. Alex's obsidian eyes sparkled, his tone uncharacteristically gentle. So that's why you've been avoiding me lately. My ears burned fiercely. I had to admit, yes, that was it. He leaned closer, his warm breath brushing my face, making my heart pound like thunder. Do you like them? My heart raced wildly. I've always liked one little fool. He ruffled my hair, his voice dripping with affection. Oh my God, my heart was racing so hard it felt like it might burst. He took my hand, his warmth spreading through my palm, giving me an inexplicable sense of security. When did you start liking me? Before that night I got drunk, we'd barely crossed paths. I stared at him blankly, unable to fathom when he'd fallen for me. Alex chuckled softly, unable to resist pinching my cheek. Do you believe in love at first sight? I believed it, but never thought it could happen to me. Alex smiled again. It was the night you stumbled into my room drunk. I was deeply skeptical. You like a drunk? I knew exactly how pathetic I looked when I was wasted. Alex gave a bitter smile. Not a drunkard, just a fairy who got tipsy. Sweet talker. But I wasn't done grilling him yet. Then what? Truth is, I'd just gotten dumped that night. Drowning my sorrows in alcohol when you walked in. You said something to me then. What profound wisdom did I utter? You wrapped your arm around my shoulder and told me ... double quotes. What did I say? During the day, we're brothers. At night, we're husband and wife. Alex chuckled softly. That night, you also told me that no matter how bad I felt, I should smile for the people who matter. Now that sounds like something I'd say. Right then, I thought to myself, someone who can say something so profound must be a really interesting girl. I gave a wry smile. Looks like I disappointed you. No, you were definitely interesting. And adorable. My heart felt warm. So because you were heartbroken too, you agreed to accompany me to confront that jerk the next day? Alex nodded. Funny enough, I was dumped too, just like you. Funny indeed. One last question. What about Jessica? What did you say to her during the day? I didn't catch it. Alex gave a cold laugh. I'm transferring her out. We'll talk when I get back. Don't. Alex raised an eyebrow, his gaze full of questions. I looked at him seriously. I don't want you to use your power because of me. It's not good for either of us. What she did to me today has nothing to do with work. But she treated you like that ... Don't worry, I'll handle her. If I rely only on you, then any problem I can't solve in this company, I won't be able to solve in the next one either. I exhaled. Let me face this myself. Alex nodded, his obsidian eyes glinting. Since my girlfriend says so, then fine. My cheeks flushed bright red. Who says I'm your girlfriend? I haven't agreed to that yet. Then what about this? Shouldn't you agree now? With that, Alex gently lowered his head, and a warm kiss suddenly silenced my words. I'm sticking to you like glue. You can't escape ... More dramatic love stories coming. Subscribe if you're into this kind of mess. Tell us what kind of story you would like to watch.